They say a mother can take care of 10 children, but 10 children cannot take care of one mother. My name is Martha, and at 70 years old, I learned the painful truth of that saying. I spent my entire life working 2 jobs to raise my son Mark. I skipped meals so he could eat. I wore the same coat for 10 years so he could have new school uniforms. When my husband passed away, I sold our only house to pay for Mark's college tuition. I thought I was investing in his future, and in return, I thought he would be my safety net when I got old. But I was wrong. After Mark got married to Jessica, things changed. I moved into their guest room because I had nowhere else to go. At first it was fine, but slowly I became a nuisance. Jessica would complain that I coughed too loudly at night. She said my medicines were cluttering the kitchen counter. Mark stopped talking to me. He would come home, walk past my room, and not even say hello. I felt like a ghost in the house I helped pay for. One rainy Tuesday evening, Mark came into my room. He didn't sit down, he didn't ask how I was. He just stood by the door, refusing to look me in the eye. He said, "Mom, this isn't working anymore. Jessica and I need our privacy. You're costing us too much money, and honestly, you're just a burden on us." We found a state-run shelter downtown. I'll drive you there tonight. My heart shattered into a million pieces. A shelter? I asked him, "Mark, I have nowhere else. I gave you everything. How can you do this?" He just shrugged and said, "That was your choice, Mom. I have my own life now. Pack your bags. You have 10 minutes. The drive was silent. He dropped me off in front of a cold, gray building that smelled of bleach and sadness. He didn't even get out of the car to say goodbye. He just drove away, his taillights fading into the rain. I stood there with my small suitcase, shivering, feeling more alone than I ever had in my life. I had $40 in my pocket. That was it. I checked into the shelter, but I couldn't sleep. I sat on the thin mattress and opened my purse. Inside, tucked away in my Bible, was a lottery ticket I had bought the day before. It was a silly habit my late husband and I used to have. We never won anything, but I bought one every week just to feel close to him. I pulled out the crumpled piece of paper and looked at the small TV in the common room where the winning numbers were being replayed. First number, match. Second number, match. My hands started shaking. Third, fourth, fifth, I stopped breathing. The final number, match. I stared at the ticket. I stared at the TV. I had just won $50 million. I didn't scream, I didn't cry. I just sat there in silence. The irony was suffocating. Yesterday, I was a burden worth nothing. Today, I was worth $50 million. But the money didn't fix the hole in my heart where my son used to be. The news spread fast. By the next morning, my face was on the local news. The headlines read, "Homeless grandmother wins jackpot." I moved into a luxury hotel while the lawyers handled the paperwork. I bought a warm coat, a good meal, and for the first time in years, I slept in a bed that didn't hurt my back. 2 days later, there was a knock on my hotel room door. I knew who it was before I even opened it. Mark was standing there. He was holding a giant bouquet of expensive roses. Jessica was with him, smiling so wide it looked painful. Mark rushed forward trying to hug me. "Mom, thank God we found you. We were so worried. We saw the news. It's a miracle." I took a step back. I didn't let him touch me. I looked at him calmly and asked, "Worried? Mark, you dropped me off at a homeless shelter in the rain because I was a burden. You said I cost too much money." Jessica chimed in, laughing nervously. "Oh, Martha, you know Mark didn't mean it. We were just stressed. We were going to come back for you the very next day. We love you, we're family. And now with this money, we can buy a big mansion and all live together again. We can take care of you properly." I looked at my son. I looked at the greed in his eyes. He wasn't looking at his mother. He was looking at an ATM machine. I picked up the phone on the desk and called security. Then I turned to Mark and said, "You are right, Mark. Family is important. That is why I am donating every single cent of this money to the orphanage down the street. They have children who actually need a mother." Mark's face turned pale. "What? Are you crazy? Mom, you can't do that. That's our inheritance. That's my money." I smiled, a sad final smile. "No, Mark, that was my money. And just like you said that night in the rain, this is my choice. You have your own life now. Goodbye." Security arrived and escorted them out. Mark was screaming and crying, begging for a second chance. But he had already used his chance. As the door closed, I poured myself a cup of tea and looked out the window at the city. I had lost a son, yes, but I had found my dignity. And sometimes that is worth more than all the gold in the world. Remember this: never push away the hand that fed you when you were helpless, because you never know when you might need that hand again